Alright. You ready?
Yep.
Alright. Welcome everybody to the Get Geeked Network, and it is another Monday after Game of Thrones. We are on episode 2, season 8, the final season.
hmm
And it is still another setup episode. I have feelings about it. I mean, parts of it was good because parts of it was informational and parts of it was important. But to me, I feel like the first episode could have been just an hour and a half long. I mean, they could even push it to 2 hours because I mean, this is the season finale. They could have just like pushed it to 2 hours if they wanted to. But I think a lot of the information that we find out here on the second episode could have been placed in the first episode. Even though a few of it is like some of it, some of the storyline, some of the story writing could have been placed on the second episode. With that said and out of the way, though, still a par episode. It's above average for me. Um, Even though I feel like a lot of it could have been compressed into the first episode. Still good and still informational.
hmm
Feelings, Alex.
Honestly, it wasn't too crazy. You did get a couple things out of the way. I just still feel that they're trying to get all of the fan service out before shit gets crazy, which they were setting up. So from now on, we probably won't get any of that. But yeah, they could
Yeah,
have just made like an hour and a half long episode. People would have been fine with it because it would have been the first episode of the new season.
yeah.
Could have
Well,
gotten
there was
everything.
a lot of it was like ramping up and it was like getting me hyped, but like I felt like it was one of those teasing episodes where like it just got you hyped, got you hyped, but you never got the climax.
Mhm.
So
It, it
now we have to wait a whole week until we can climax, you know?
it was giving you blue balls to give you blue balls, which is kind of fucked up.
But like the thing is like I don't even mind episodes like this, right? But like to span it out with to span it out into 2 episodes back to back. Um I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I like it, but I mean, I could see I totally could see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get out all the information. They're trying to get out all of the details and nooks and crannies before everything just goes and hits the fan. But
hmm
a lot of it could have been condensed into 1 episode. Seriously, but I don't know. But yeah, but with that said though, I mean, let's go. Let's just get straight into how the episode went. It basically just starts off. Jamie is on Stan. He is in the place where Littlefinger got killed. If any of you guys remember that episode, but he is standing there and he is in on trial almost with Daenerys and Sansa and Jon Snow. Bran is still sitting there in the corner looking all creepy, and his brother Tyrion on the side and everything like that. And he just has to basically convince everybody not to kill him. Basically,
I mean, he it's half a room of people who want to kill him in a place that considers him a traitor
yep,
and like a
father
king
killer.
killer.
Basically, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, he killed their king, and
he killed
man,
two fathers. Well, not two fathers.
oh yeah,
I'm sorry. Cersei killed the other. Well, not Cersei, but you know,
yeah.
Cersei commanded the death of the other father.
But the real setup right now for this one is probably not just the whole Okay, so after what she was called, I'm calling her Danny from now on.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a little easier if you want to. I don't know. I kind of like this whole pronouncing thing. Just makes me feel like I'm more in the world. Even though some of the people on the show themselves call her Danny. I don't know. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter. Call her what you want.
But yeah, uh, so Daenerys getting her whole feelings out on the floor, it didn't really connect with you as much as kind of what Bran did while he was on the stand with everybody. Because if you didn't know in the earlier episodes, he's pretty much the reason why Bran is in the wheelchair because he didn't kill him, but after his little family boink boink session, um, pushed him out the window and pretty much paralyzed him. But now that he's the three-eyed raven,
He forgives Jamie.
he
Like yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he
Well,
doesn't really
he
care.
he yeah he doesn't really forgive him. He just basically like I don't care because you made me into something else. I'm not a man. I'm something else or something like that. I forgot what he said, but yeah,
He
kind of
yeah
weird and creepy. But yeah, but then Bran says something even
yeah
crazier to Jamie. It was like crazy, or was it the things you do for love or something like that. I forgot, but
yeah.
I forgot
That's actually
I
it.
forgot the
Yeah.
exact words. But oh man, like I just remember watching it. I was just like, oh snap.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
then
that's
Jamie looks at him weird.
because that's exactly what he said before he pushed him out the window
Yeah,
and
it's a call
paralyzed him,
straight up callback. Yeah, yeah.
and then they haven't seen each other for a whole like 8 seasons.
Forever. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then crazy thing on the stand when Jamie's on the stand though, you could already feel the tension between Jon Snow and Daenerys. Jon Snow's already acting weird, which is bothering me a lot. And then Brienne of Tarth stands
Oh,
up.
finally shows up. Yep.
Yeah, shows is well. I mean, she's been there, but just finally shows up on camera, and she defends Jaime Lannister,
Hmm.
and this sets up a weird love. I don't know if I want to say a triangle because I know she doesn't like Tormund, but everyone's shipping Tormund and Brienne,
I don't see it.
but I don't know. It just be because everyone's pulling for it. Everyone's kind of calling for it, but that's not gonna happen. But it
Mm-mm.
sets up this weird like kind of romance between Jamie and Brienne. I don't know. Maybe Jamie's head is still like platonic and more of a respecting because they're both knights and stuff, which we'll get into later because there's a scene about that. But yeah, it's kind of weird. But she defends him.
Mm.
Sansa agrees, and uh, Danny takes it a little weird, but ultimately agrees also because everyone's basically agreeing in her
Yeah,
head. And in her
because
head, though, I think she doesn't really agree, but she has to
yeah,
kind of.
well, because there's this disconnection between the two. There's still like a feud going on between Sansa and Daenerys
Hmm.
because they're both kind of the leaders, but she's the true leader. Well, not technically after what we heard about John, but
Yeah, and then
so
they
what's going?
they kind of butt heads too because there's a scene later on about that also. But yeah.
Yeah, but they're still being catty with each other. They're still
Hmm.
like acting like I'm the best. I don't trust you. But so Daenerys, their father was killed by
Jamie.
essentially the same yeah, the
No,
same
Jamie. No,
person
yeah,
that
Jamie is the one who killed Danny's father.
so
He
they
is
were
the
both killed
Kingslayer.
by the same person, and to see that one person trusts him over the other person, it feels like there's that weird, like we're supposed to be in the same boat here, but I guess not kind of thing.
Hmm. And then so basically, the plans of Cersei has been found out because Jamie is there and he tells everyone,
Mm.
and this kind of throws. I thought it would kind of bring everyone together, but it kind of still throws a wrench in the plan still, because Tyrion was the one to vouch for Cersei, and Tyrion is Dany's right hand man, or the hand of Dany's court. So now Danny's basically mad and pissed off at Tyrion because she basically kind of reiterates what Sansa had said to him earlier in the first episode. I thought I could trust you. I thought you were smart. But it seems like you're not that smart because it seems like the sister who tried to kill you has put a fast one over you. And basically
Mhm.
Tyrion kind of has to agree because he has no words for it. And he's like, but he's still trying to defend himself. And Danny's like, maybe I should replace you or something like that. And it takes Jorah, her old right hand man that Tyrion basically took the job from, to kind of convince her like, yo, calm down, Danny. Like everyone makes mistakes, and then Danny calls him out on it. Like, didn't Tyrion once try to kill you too? And weren't you like not friends at all? But Jorah is a bigger man than that because he's been through a lot already, and he's trying to instill like knowledge into Danny. So he's like, it doesn't matter. Like we're in a bigger situation right now, and great men sometimes make mistakes, basically.
See, this is kind of bugging me a little bit. There's a lot of people. I get it's like a long time ago, but there are a lot of people realize they need to get off their damn high horse and realize that there's something bigger than egos going on here, and
Yeah,
just give it up. It's bugging the hell out of me. Like
but
this is why I thought that their egos are gonna probably lead to their downfall, which is why I'm still on the boat of they're all gonna lose.
mm, um, they might, and there's a theory later on too that I think, I don't know, but I mean it could go either way because in the way or in the world of Game of Thrones, you always kind of see it, kind of like in horror movies, like if you see like two people hooking up, they're gonna die. Same thing in Game of
Mhm.
Thrones. If you see a certain scene, something is gonna happen. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, so, and I feel like this whole episode was kind of set on, let's men basically mending wounds and forgiving and trying to get together because there's a bigger issue in hand, and it kind
Like,
of plays along all the way through the whole
yeah,
episode.
so there are those people who still won't get over their egos, but it was doing a good job at kind of showing that.
They're
And
trying.
some of these people will get over their feuds because, they're about
Hmm.
to fight a huge war
Yeah.
that they not sure whether or not they're gonna win
Yep.
or survive.
And then there's this, okay, and then it goes to a scene after that. But I don't want to get into this scene because I want to rewind back later because it plays together. So we're gonna skip this next scene. So we'll skip that and we go straight to Bran and Jamie talking, which we kind of got into. We talked about a little earlier.
Mhm.
Jamie kind of wants to know what Bran thinks, and Bran tells him, like it doesn't really matter. He is now the three-eyed raven. He doesn't have feelings like regular men. He sees all and stuff like that, and then says the snappy comeback to Jamie at the end. Um,
Mhm.
and then after that, you it goes straight to Dora, or yeah, Jorah talking to Daenerys. We kind of went over that also, and then
Jorah,
and
the
then
explorer.
but that scene connects to the scene of where Daenerys goes and talks to Sansa. And this is kind of
Mhm.
an important scene because Danny is trying to kind of play Sansa, I feel, because she's like, yo, we're both
Mm.
girls, we're in a world of men, and we've been kind of fighting the same fight. Why
Mhm.
aren't we getting along and stuff like that? And Sansa basically just puts it out there. It's because I want the North and you want to roll the whole kingdom. And I don't know why she doesn't say it straight up, like, okay, you could have the throne, you could have the throne of King's Landing. Like, how about you just give us the North? We're good with that. I don't know why she doesn't
Seriously,
say it like that, like, and it causes like they were holding hands in the beginning, and then right when Sansa says, "Well, we still want the North," Danny pulls her hands away, like it bothers her.
I seriously don't understand. These people are fighting for you. Just
give
give it
give
up
them the
and give them
land.
the north.
you know
Seriously.
Especially since she's like, her whole cause from the beginning was to fight for kind of like a an equality type world where she rules, which is still kind of like uh kind of like a goes against each other, but what
Hmm. This is the whole ego.
kind of hypocritical basically, but I
Yeah,
mean,
it's the change that she's gone through. Honestly, I think she's changed. She's not the same person.
yeah. Oh yeah.
She's
the
become
her
so stuck up with power
Yeah,
that she's not going to
her
give up
powers
anything.
corrupted her mind basically. Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
And then uh
Ooh, actually, real quick, I was totally expecting her to end up and say, "Hey, do you want to be my right hand?" I was totally expecting
mm,
that
that would
after.
actually, you know what, that could have been even a better proclamation. And
Mm,
it's also puts me, I feel like the writers, because this isn't George R. R. Martin's writing, I feel like the writers are kind of lacking a little bit because I feel like George would have thought about stuff like that, you know? But
Yeah,
and
but I think they're throwing all their hands into. I think
mhm.
they're throwing all their eggs into the war basket.
Yeah, because
Mm.
some of the writing on this episode kind of bothered me too. Like, I mean, just like it just it's starting to feel like regular TV writing,
Yeah,
where
there's.
Game of Thrones was never regular TV writing.
It was known for having an episode, and people would speak all these little extra quips that would give you an insight into different things. Like, you would have expected a lot more small talk that would have opened up a whole new world instead of all this,
Yeah,
you know,
and a
they're just
lot
speaking
and,
exactly what you see.
and a lot of times they wouldn't even talk setup.
Mhm.
Things would just happen, and that's what I got used to. But I guess because these are showrunners writing the show now, I guess we have to expect a little bit more of regular TV writing, where there's going to be setup scenes and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm kind of used to it, but I saw it basically, and it's a little
Yeah,
weird.
you can definitely get that feeling of something's changed, but kind of I know everybody's kind of just sick of waiting, so we're all kind of just dealing with it.
Yeah, and then so at the end of that scene, well, it doesn't really end. The scene doesn't really end because then Sansa gets called,
Mhm.
or I don't know if Sansa or Dany
I
got,
think
but
it was
they both
I
got
think it
called.
was Daenerys,
But
yeah, or something.
they go and Theon has arrived.
Finally.
Another part of Game of Thrones time travel because you thought Theon was pretty far away and he ends up there like what the day that Jamie shows up, which is kind of crazy. But so Theon's
Doesn't
arrived.
he show up? Doesn't he show up before
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
guy?
Before the knights, before the leftover of the Night's Watch, and before Tormund, he shows up before them.
Hmm.
Um, And this scene was kind of weird because I mean I guess it goes with this it goes with the theme because it is supposed to be like forgiving and just coming back together and stuff like that. But Sansa embraces Theon. And and
That's strange.
the weird thing is I can't recall if Sansa ever knew what Theon did to the North because Theon basically betrayed the North, almost like tried to kill her little brother, and
Well,
a lot of
he
other
kind of
things. A lot of
he
other.
kind of does because in the end, doesn't he like say, "I took this castle from you. Let
Yeah,
me."
well, yeah. I mean, that scene was not until later, but I'm talking about right when
But
she meets
yeah,
him.
like wasn't the last time they saw each other back when he was acting like a dog?
I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, you know what? You're right. Yeah, it might be that she embraces him because I think he did help her escape his older brother. I
Hmm.
mean, that could have been true. Kind of weird though. Still kind of weird though because I mean like but I guess I guess I could see where they're coming from on that though because it's and I feel like it's a play also. I think that Sansa is trying to show Dany like, look, I'm more of a forgiving queen than you are. you know,
Once
to
again, going back to these catty egos.
exactly. Um, and then we go to a weird scene. It's a small scene, but I still kind of want to talk about it just because this little kid, and I think it's a little girl, is talking to
Yeah,
Davos, and she's like, "My brothers
her cousin.
are training to
Oh
fight,
yeah, yeah.
are training to fight, and they're gonna be out there, and they want me to go into the tombs. I don't want to go into the tombs. I want to fight." And and then yeah, so Davos
He pulls
doesn't
that quick one.
Davos doesn't really know what to say to her, but I think it was Sam's wife shows up and tells her like you're a brave little one. You should be in the tombs defending the people down there.
Hmm.
And then the little girl runs off happy because like yes, I will do that. Which it's eerie to me because when like you usually in Game of Thrones when a scene is set up like that, something really bad happens to that unknown person.
Hmm. I'm I'm gonna save a little bit of that for my speculations because I got a little something that I think is gonna happen with that.
Mm. Cause like I mean, cause it's the same thing that happened on the first episode. You know, this new
Hmm.
little person shows up and he gets called by name and then he dies. I think the only thing that might save this other little girl is that they didn't say her name. I want to say that if they say the name, something bad will happen. But luckily, they didn't say her name.
Hmm.
So we don't know what's gonna happen to that. And then it goes right after that though. Then it goes into the Night's Watch, and Tormund returns, and everyone's
Hmm.
like happy to see them. Everyone's embracing John's there to greet them all. Funny line comes out of that. Tormund goes, "Is the big woman still here?" that,
Oh
that
God.
was hilarious. You gotta love Tormund for that, man, because he's all up on her, and he basically hits on her the whole time after you see him like that. But like she's just not taking it. She's not because like we said, I think she's kind of in this romance feeling for Jamie.
Hmm. But still, like, and that is something I've seen all over the internet, dude. All over the
Is
internet.
the big woman still here? I love it. And that was just a short scene, but and then it goes into a group meeting, and this is where you said that Theon said, even though I tried to take over, the North this Winterfell, I don't know if he plead for forgiveness. I don't think he did, but he's like, I'm here
He
and I'm
didn't.
and I'm willing
Yeah.
to defend it, with my life.
So, what it happened was they came up with a plan, and essentially they're going to use Bran as bait
Yeah.
because he
Oh,
has the
before
White
before that, let me
Walkers.
let me set that up. This whole thing, it kind of explains a lot. Because I totally missed this, watching the rest of the season, all the other seasons. I didn't know that the Night King had marked Bran, and I should have known that, but I didn't.
Hmm.
And that's how they're connected. Because I don't, if you don't remember the our last review show, I said I don't know how they're connected, but they're connected somehow. It's the mark on his arm. So that's how they could see into each other's eyes, basically. So that's how the Night King knows where Bran is. And I want to say on one of the other season, Bran kind of can see into the Night King's eyes, but he doesn't do it all the time, or maybe it doesn't happen all the time. I don't know. I'm not sure, but so that's how Bran and the Night King are connected, and then it goes into the plan, and then you can continue on that.
So they're essentially having this war room meeting where every
Mm-hmm.
leader is in there learning about what's going to happen, essentially setting up the battle. I did have one problem with this.
Who's that?
When you have a diagram of war,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to have a piece for every single damn White Walker.
Oh.
Half of the board was just white pieces, and I'm like, I don't even know
Yeah.
you guys had that many. Just like put a note that says White Walkers or something.
Well, it's old school days, dude. They probably didn't really think it over. They were probably just, putting markers down.
That probably took a dude like 20 something minutes to just set them all up. But so they're setting it all up. Essentially, they're gonna say, they're gonna use Brand for bait.
Oh yeah.
Nobody wants to, but
Well,
they
yeah,
have
nobody
to.
wants to, but a lot of people, when they decide to do it, a lot of people are like, I will defend, I will be there next to Brand to help him, blah blah blah. But
Mm.
um,
Theon is the one that like I guess gets accepted to do it because he was the one that actually took essentially he's trying to this is his redemption story,
yeah,
I'm
this is
guessing.
yeah, this is redemption, which also I think also sets up his death.
Yeah.
Because the only
Uh
way for him to be redeemed is to die, basically. So
mhm.
I think this is the nail in the coffin for Theon.
Dude, this is the nail on the coffin for a lot of people, if not everyone.
Well, we really don't know yet. Uh, even though maybe half of the room will probably be dead by the end, but who knows? Um, I want to touch on how Jon Snow was,
So
still
how
acting weird
John
on
is
this one,
acting
and
didn't
this,
arrive.
and it was just bugging me, dude. I'm just like, man, come on, dude. they have to do a little bit better writing, but I mean, I could see where they were coming with this because he did just find out this information, so it is gonna make him act weird. But I just hate that type
It
of
doesn't.
like I hate those type of scenes.
It it gives me this weird awkwardness because he doesn't need to give her the whole cold shoulder because
Exactly.
right before that they were all kissy and lovey, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden he's like,
Distant,
"Mm,
distant, and just saying my lady. When you don't ever really call her my lady, you call her Danny.
yeah,
um,
oh man," and
but
then that sets up crypt scene, which was um
well, no,
so.
before no, there's a few things
Oh yeah,
before
yeah,
that.
yeah,
There's a
yeah, yeah,
few
yeah.
things
That's
before
right.
that. So let's hold off on that until we get it. Just a couple things. Tyrion goes and talks with Bran, and this is a small scene too, but I feel like it's an important scene because Tyrion's like, tell me something, Bran," and Bran's like, "Oh, I know a lot, and if I tell you something, it's not gonna be a small something. It's gonna take us forever." And Tyrion's like, "Well, we have all night until we die, so might as well just tell me." But it cuts out after that. But you
Mhm.
know when they do a scene like that that there's something important to be said. Like I think there's a little. I think Tyrion knows a little something now. I think Bran told him a little something now, because that sets up a scene later on as well. Um,
Once again, I got a huge speculation on that one.
yeah, I guess. Okay, remember that, and we'll hold off and we'll talk about it and in
Mhm.
prediction part. After that, it goes to Grey Worm and Masende. I don't even know if I'm saying that name right. I want to say I am, because it sounds like that. Like it's hard for me to say it, even though I hear it on TV. Masendai or Masende. I'm gonna go with Masende. Basically, they are showing those two kind of talking about after the war, and this is a bad thing because Grey Worm has started to become one of my favorite characters as well. And I've been kind of thinking that he would have died a long time ago, but I think that's why he became one of my favorite characters because he just wouldn't die. But he is talking to Masende, which is basically their lovers now. I don't know how they do it because he doesn't have a penis.
Hmm.
He's even talking about kids and family like after the war. Dude, how do you have no penis? I don't get it, but whatever. But in the world of Game of Thrones, if you talk about that stuff, you're dead. So
This is
basically they're just
not gonna end well.
yeah, it's not they're just predicting their death, and yeah, so that's that scene. I mean, you have any feelings on that, or I don't know.
Honestly, it was still just kind of filler for me because all these people, like, I get that they were trying to get it out of the way because I knew a lot of people were interested in their love interest and seeing where that was gonna go. But honestly, one of them, if not both, is not gonna make it out of this.
Oh yeah,
All of it was just kind of like
I'm
filler.
I'm pretty sure now. But although you know what though, on the other seasons, I was pretty sure on his death before also because of the same reasons, and he's still alive. But I don't know how many more lives he could have. Like it just doesn't go against. It just doesn't go with the rules. If you're in love, you're basically dead. It's weird. We'll move on from that though. We get a scene, and I felt like this scene is what we needed in the first episode.
Ooh,
The how.
wait, real quick.
Hmm.
We forgot about something that I kind of wanted to pick up on. Uh, so I'm not even gonna try to pronounce her name too, but uh, the girlfriend of Grey Worm,
Masende, yeah.
yeah, she stepped out and like said hi to two little girls who then like didn't say anything to her and walked away.
Oh yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if that's
It's
because of Daenerys, because of
well,
something.
it's a little bit of both because the North are all white folk. There is no colored people in the whole land of Winterfell or King's Landing. So it's basically racism, and also because they are part of Daenerys's
Mhm.
army.
But also like it gives you a little more a little more compassion when it comes to them liking each other, because it shows that even though everybody else hates them, they still got each other. You know?
Yeah, which means they're dead.
Yeah. So
It's the world
yeah,
of Game of
continuing
Thrones.
on. Yeah, with this little scene, uh,
Well, I mean, no, well, not. I don't know what scene you're talking about, but so this
the
scene,
one with the hound.
yeah, the Hound and Arya.
Hmm.
I like this because this is what I wanted from the first episode. I wanted, I wanted the Hound to tell Arya like, you know, I respect you, like you're, and basically that's what he's trying to tell her, like, you know, I know that you tried to kill me and that you're just, like you're just um, taking that I'm here, but here's the thing, little girl, I respect you.
Hmm.
And I feel like Arya, if they weren't in the situation that they're in right now, would have probably said the same thing. And I kind of think that she did kind of, replied back kind of with what I'm saying, but she had a different thing in her head that she had to get to right after this scene. That
Oh
so
man.
I mean, but that scene was I loved that scene because I wanted to see that on the first episode, and I felt like they could have put that in the first episode, but we got it here on the second episode. Satisfied with it
Hmm.
though. And then it goes into a very uncomfortable scene. Because the thing is we watched Arya grow from a little girl. And now if you do the math right in the Game of Thrones world, when Arya met Gendry, Gendry was already in his teens. Arya was still young. And I know, but the thing is, I kind of know that they were building up this romance because I seen it coming from a mile away. I seen it like 3 seasons ago. Um, but yeah, Arya's like, we're about to die. I've never had sex, and this is just talking layman's term here. I've never had sex. You've had it. I want some of your D before we go into battle. And we get a
YouTube, don't
Gendry
take us
Arya
down.
love scene.
YouTube, please don't take us down.
Nah, man, nah. Because the thing is, she would be old. She would be old enough now because I mean I think enough times passed where they're kind of but I mean in that world though it doesn't even really matter though because it's Game of Thrones world.
Hmm. If Georgia's age of consent is 16, this should be fine. So we're good. But
Oh man, no, but I mean
man, my bad.
they should be old enough, and
It's
I think they played the age range kind of okay because in the Game of Thrones world this one more horrible things happen than this. I mean this was fine, a little uncomfortable
I mean,
a little uncomfortable to watch, but more uncomfortable because like I said in Game of Thrones world if
yeah.
you
I
make love, you're gonna die. Now one of them's gonna have
so
to die. I don't know if it's Arya. Oops. I don't know
I
if it's Arya, or I don't know if it's gonna be Gendry. But one of them is gonna die.
I have a feeling that it's probably gonna be Gendry, because Arya seems like she's gonna be one of the only few that are gonna make it out of this.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Gendry's kind of
but
expendable too, because he's kind of one of the expendable characters.
yeah, plus he's a blacksmith. He's not really the one to fight. He makes a weapon, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't train that well. But I mean, even so, we get this. Are we gonna talk about the scene afterwards when it
Uh,
happens? Because I
well,
kind of want to talk about that, where it just kind of.
well, let me get out let me get more my thoughts out on this scene, and then you could just get into whatever scene that you were thinking about, and I'll let you know if
All right,
that's
for
if
sure.
that's in it. But there's a little weird thing. There's a little bit of weird things from other seasons that kind of build into this whole thing too. Because the thing is, um, the Red Witch, um, the Red Witch
Oh yeah.
did something to Gendry because because he is his bloodline. She needed his bloodline to do her spell. Um,
A Baratheon.
Now, does that play into any of this? Does that messes up Arya? Because maybe Arya was supposed to live, but because she had sex with Gendry, and Gendry has that blood, does that messes up Arya? Maybe Arya dies instead. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Because the Red Queen did a lot of, not the Red Queen, the Red Witch did a lot of weird things already. For one thing, she brought Jon Snow back to life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and before that, but that's because she thinks that Jon Snow is there's theories that she believes that he is in the there's a lore in the Game of Thrones where the 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 bearer of the throne is supposed to be birthed or something like that, and she believes that it's gonna be Jon Snow. But before that, she thought it was a different guy who ends up dying. But now she thinks it's Jon Snow. But if you know that lore, and I don't know it too well because I can't remember it that well. There's just too much to remember. But in that lore, it could be two people. It could either be Danny or it could be Jon Snow, because it doesn't really say gender in the lore. But those two have came into the world kind of the same way. But yeah, so I don't know if it, but I'm thinking one of them's gonna die. Even though a lot of people don't think it's gonna be Arya, it still can be. But Gendry is a more expendable character, so he easier to kill him off. With that said, let's move on to the next scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then what scene were you thinking about?
Oh no, I was talking about like when they were done and they were just kind of laying there awkwardly. How Arya was kind of like facing the other way. I just feel like after that scene, she kind of has a feeling that even though it's over, it's probably not going to end well because she's not quippy. She's not, you know,
Yeah, but
talking jokes.
they just had sex. And also it was her first time having sex, and the other part too is before that she kind of loved him almost like a brother because she wanted him to. There was a time where Gendry and Arya were traveling together, but he decides to join the Brotherhood of No Banners,
Mm-hmm.
and he tells Arya like, I don't have a family, so I'm gonna go with these guys. But Arya was like, well, you could be part of my family. Um, but these two were born in different societies basically, because in the world of Game of Thrones you have the highborns, which are kind of like, if you were born to an owner of land or a king or something like that. And then you have the lowborns, which were the ones who were born to basically the workers of the land. So they're different societies. And, he kind of tries to explain it to her like that, and he ends up leaving, right? But she still had feelings for him, I'm pretty sure. And that's
Yeah.
where all this, like, setup for romance, that's where I kind of seen it coming. But yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen like this, but
But
you
I
got to
think
do
I
what you
think
got
that
to
was
do, I
all.
guess.
I think that was all her feelings, kind of like when she's lying there looking to side. I think that was all her feelings, kind of like, you know, yeah, to me, I'm thinking like, oh, I love this boy now, even though she didn't want to, but it always
Mhm.
happens. You
Oh
have
yeah.
if you hold your feelings for a person and you all of a sudden like decide to have sex with them, there's gonna be feelings, But she knows that nothing good's gonna come of it because there's gonna be a big battle and one of them can die, and I'm pretty sure one of them's gonna die.
Ooh. Speaking of right before that happens, you actually get to finally see the weapon she wanted, which
Oh,
looks like a spear, I'm
a
guessing.
spear that separates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of like
kind of like a ninja
kind
thing.
of like a yeah, kind of like the three-sectioned pull,
Yeah,
you know.
which is pretty cool. I don't know how that's gonna work with White Walkers, but could work, I guess. Spear
Hey, if
them,
you're
they
going to
die, and then
die,
you pull it back, maybe.
dude, if you're going to die, might as well live out your fantasies. If she wants to be a ninja, let her be a ninja.
Well,
She wants to
she's already a ninja. There is no fantasy. She is the ninja. Like when she was first
ooh.
talking to Gendry in the first scene where they talk to each other. When this is the callback or roundabout back to that first scene where they talk to each other. Gendry's like, "Why are you fighting? You're a lady, blah blah blah," and she's explaining to him, and at the same time while explaining to him why she's fighting and what kind of skills she has, she's hitting bullseyes with daggers over and over and over and over again, showing Gendry like, I have skills. Don't question me.
I was I was expecting like that dude to the left of the pole she was hitting to like have left already, but he was just like, whatever.
I was expecting her to accidentally hit a person.
Dude, I was thinking like all of a sudden she like turns around and all you hear is like, ugh,
Yeah,
and he just like falls to the ground.
that would have been hilarious. It's like I got all these skills. Like, oops. Oh, well, you mess up once in a while.
Yeah, but back to the weapon, you know, man, let her have her Zanpakuto, let her do her thing. She's got needle, but she needs her.
No, she needs a bigger weapon for sure. Needle's
Yeah.
not gonna protect her from all of the White Walkers. But she also has she also has a big sword too. But you know, something with Dragonstone. So scenes those scenes are done and over with. Then we go into um oh, this scene is kind of important. This is the scene where basically all of every like all the not the higher people but kind of the mid people, they all kind of join together in this room. It's
Essentially the best
Tyrion.
fighters,
Yeah, all the fighters basically. Yeah, it's because it's Tyrion, it's Jaime, it's Brienne, it's Tormund, it's Davos, and they're all sitting around, and they're just speaking to each other. And I think it was Tyrion was all like Sir Brienne, but then Brienne's like I'm not a knight. Um, and Jaime's like, well, you don't need a king to knight a knight. Another knight could
Wait,
knight a knight.
are we gonna totally look over the talking about the giant and then drinking that beer totally fucked up?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's part of the whole scene. You could just bring it up, But
I'm just
to me,
that
to me,
was the
I don't.
most awkward I've ever felt watching the Game of Thrones. It was just like uh I was just gonna be like I just wanted her to just punch him right then and there.
Well, I mean, because to me, it was just more of him showing off for Brienne. I mean, he's basically Tormund is just basically hitting on Brienne the whole time, just
He's a Game of Thrones frat boy,
because
essentially.
because the thing is, I think he was one of the wildlings. I want to say, um, was he? I forget. I'm not sure. I don't know. Did he come from a house? But I mean,
Mm,
he's one of the crazier ones, and he knows that he's gonna be going to battle. He knows that he might not live, so he just wants the big woman.
mhm.
So he's doing basically all that he can to get her attention. She's just blowing him off. It it is what it is. That's why like
Mhm.
I didn't really like I kind of glossed over that scene just because it's just more of him showing off and showboating and kind of hitting on her.
But also, if you've been on the internet at all, that's probably one of the scenes that you've seen mocked uh, the most. But yeah, so getting back into the whole thing, I guess apparently Jamie says you don't need a king or a queen to knight somebody,
And this
and
and
then
this cements the whole romance thing too because after he knights her, dude, she puts on this smile and it's a smile you
okay,
never seen from her before, and
never mind.
she has feelings for Jamie. I mean,
And also never.
that's how I read it.
Well, yeah, I didn't really pull too much of the romance into it, but never mind what I said. That part was the most awkward I've ever
Hmm.
felt watching because that smile was like
Weird.
she is
It was a weird smile.
beyond.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was weird smile.
Because the
Like
thing,
if you saw,
because the thing is, you never seen her smile until that
mm.
scene.
And I mean, it is kind of cool considering it may show her that she still has feelings. She's, you know, still a person that's always wanted this, and now that she actually gets it in a room full of people who are some of the best fighters, or at least some of the most iconic people when it comes to fighting, are seeing her and are accepting of her being a knight as well.
Well, I also think it's because they all thought that she was a knight, but the thing is that she was
Yeah.
never knighted, and now she's a knight. You know, um, like for reals this time. If what Jamie says is true. Um, and the thing about it is Tormund is the first one to clap, so he's like oblivious that Brienne is into Jamie.
Hmm.
Which is sets up another another type of awkward scene, because like I was like, oh man, Tormund, dude, you don't get it, huh? Like, dude, she's basically totally into Jamie, man. Like, oh, it's gonna be heartbreaking, because that's gonna be bad for later on. But in that scene
Ugh.
though, everyone's like, we're all like, cause Davos like, I've never fought, but I've always survived, and Tyrion's like saying to everyone like, we've survived many of crazy things, cause they've all been in wars, and some of them don't have fighting skills, and they've all came out alive. So they're like, and
Mhm.
he's like, what if we actually win? What if we actually do all survive? And everyone basically just
What
starts
if,
laughing.
man? What if?
Everyone starts laughing, and this sets up my speculation is that what if what he says is true? Because sometimes when people say that, it does come out true, because it's kind of like a foreshadowing of what's gonna happen. Like, because people will gloss over a little thing like that of someone saying something like that, but then like you see it happen, and then you call back to that moment, but you never know though.
Yeah, so, what if, man? What if they do? But all I'm gonna say is, no matter what, it is not gonna be a pretty win.
No,
That's
oh,
for
definitely
sure.
not. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of dead bodies for sure. Oh, beforehand though, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on this, and because I don't this I don't like, and this we have to go all the way back to the war meeting.
Hmm.
So their whole thing is they're like, okay, when the White Walkers was all in groups, when they took out the head leader, all of them died. So their thought is, okay, if it's like that, then why don't we just if we could find a way to kill the Night King, then all of them should die. And I hate this because this is kind of what made Avengers 2 kind of suck, and a lot of other shows and movies kind of suck, because it's like, oh, you just have to kill the main thing to kill everything else. It kind of makes it all like not so dangerous, because like it's an easy out. Like
True,
all you have
but
to do is kill the king, and then all of his minions die. Like, I don't know if
true,
I
but
like that.
there's uh I get that there's just like a slight difference is because at this moment they are 100% unsure of what's going to kill them. They're not sure if Dragonfire can kill them. They're not sure if uh anything can kill them. They're just going to try their best. But I have a feeling that maybe this dude's just not gonna die. You don't know. You can't.
Yeah,
Maybe you just can't kill death.
I
You
have
know.
well, I have a feeling there's more to it. There's gonna be a twist or something, kind of like Bran can't live if the Night King dies or something like that. Like, they kind of need
Damn.
each other to live,
Already,
because
already
Bran
killed my,
because
already
Bran is.
killed my speculation. I was gonna talk about. Yeah, I
Oh,
was
okay.
gonna
I'll
say
save.
you're
Wait, wait.
probably
I'll
gonna.
save it. I'll save it. I won't finish it. I won't finish it. We'll get into that at the end. Okay, so because there's a few more scenes we have to get through. So yeah. Oh, the weird thing in that group meeting is at the end they have one of the I call them the red shirts, because we don't really know who it is, and they're basically there to die. And he sings a hymn, and it's eerie hymn, and the hymn is actually a lore too. It goes back into old books. If you guys are book readers, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's basically how they brought back dragons and stuff like that. It's kind of weird, crazy,
Mhm.
but yeah, we'll gloss over that. Then we go into Jorah talking to Lyanna, basically because
Mhm.
Jorah sees Lyanna as still a little girl, but Lyanna is a queen basically. She's the head of the house, and Jorah's like, "But you're young. You should be in the tombs." And Lyanna's like, "I'm not having that. Like even though you're older than me, you were disgraced out of the family. I'm the leader of the family now, and I shall fight and leave it at that. And
Man,
here's the crazy thing: I totally forgot that they were cousins. I
yeah.
don't know.
But dude, I kind of had a strange thing about that. I know they're really good blacksmiths. How the hell does she have such a perfectly fitting set of armor? Like somebody that age is constantly growing up.
Growing, yeah. Well, the thing is though, it's I don't think she was wearing armor. She was wearing leather. So
No, she was wearing armor.
was
She
it
had
armor?
like metal. Yeah, there was metal chest piece. There was metal
Hmm.
shoulders, arms, legs, everything.
Well, I
And it
mean,
was
24-hour blacksmith.
man. Yeah, I get it, but it was just like, dude, it would have been much more fitting and probably a little funnier if she had like armor that's maybe not set for her.
Yeah, I don't know. And then that scene sets up the next scene is Sam shows up
Mhm.
and gives Jorah
Yeah.
his family sword,
Mhm.
which is weird. I don't like it. I like Sam. I wanted to see Sam live, but I feel like Sam giving away this sword, which this sword has to be important because it's Valyrian steel, and I feel like Valyrian steel is going to be coming into a big play with inside this war. And with Sam not having the Valyrian steel on him, and that now Jorah has it, I feel like Jorah is set up to be more of a survivor than Sam is, and this kind of sets up Sam's basically death song.
And the thing is, there's not much Valyrian steel, but a
Mm-mm.
couple people have it. They were giving them out
Yeah.
to a couple people,
Well,
but
Jon Snow has one, which was supposed to be belonging to Jorah, but Jorah was disgraced out of his family and he can't have it. Um, but Jon has it because it was given to him by the old dude from the Night's Watch. And
Arya
then
has one.
Arya has one, and now Jorah has one, but it was
Mhm.
Sam's to begin with.
And I mean, if they go that route, they go that route, but maybe they just go whoever has Valyrian steel lives.
I know, man, but I don't know if I want them to go that way. I don't know if I like that. There's a lot of
But
characters that don't
essentially,
have Valerian steel that I want to live, you
yeah.
know? And I was kind of banking on that Sam had because Sam had the Valerian steel, I was banking that Sam would still live. But now that they set up the scene and he gives it away, it it kind of like I don't know, dude. I want to say Sam
Or,
dies and I don't like it.
well, because can we talk about the scene where they're on top of the wall with Sam and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
John
yeah,
and
because
all
that goes
that?
together. That goes
So,
together.
so he essentially is like John says to Sam, "Hey, all the women and children are in the crypts. If you want to go," and he kind of takes offense to
Hmm.
it,
Yeah, he's like
but
I could.
not.
He's like I could fight. I survived the same things that you survived at the Night's Watch. Which
And
is
then I
another
like
reason
how
why he
he,
might die.
yeah, and I also kind of like how he was like he kind of glossed over it and went like, "Oh, I mean, like to protect them."
Hmm.
But then a couple pretty funny things happen where he says, you know, the killer of Sam Tarly, the killer of the White Walkers, you know, is like more and more reasons to think that the world is ending.
Yeah,
But I
man.
do think that this is gonna set up his, I want to say, honorable
Well,
death
it has
because,
it has to be honorable because they've they've given him too much now. And that's why I kind of
mm,
thought he was gonna survive because he started from nothing and he gained a lot and I wanted to see him survive because he does have um a semi wife and kid now.
hmm
But it's gonna be sad to see him die. But I really think he's gonna die. I mean, they're just setting it up, gloating about winning, battles and stuff, and giving away a very important type of weapon. It's just
hmm
like, dude, what are you doing? You're just basically putting a target on your back. I don't know. Just
yeah,
man, I just don't like it. Um, with that, we go into the very uncomfortable scene
Mm-hmm.
of Danny and John in
Yep.
the crypt. I I feel like the writers got really sloppy. Either that or they're just doing something that doesn't need to be done with this scene. Because John basically confesses everything he knows to Danny. And Danny's like, how is it that you just believe your best friend and, a kid that thinks that, he's some higher being? Uh, and then she's like, well, that just means that you're in line for the Iron Throne because, you have higher, you know, position than I do for it. But to me, it's like you know that Jon Snow doesn't want the throne, and the thing is, why doesn't he just say it there and then? Because they cut the scene before anything else, and I'm just like, oh man, well, this is lazy writing, or not lazy writing,
It,
but they're just pulling for more. The writers are just pulling for more because they're like, oh, maybe if we do it this way, then we could do like a total flip flop later on or something like that. Like, oh man.
yeah, I don't know where they're gonna go with this, but in all honesty, I think either they're gonna set up something stupid, or it's gonna be one of those things where we had to get it out of the way, but we don't want to deal with it because we just want to get to the fighting and get it over with. Because we don't know how this is gonna end. If both of them are still alive, then there's still gonna be some stuff they got to figure out. But if they don't, then it's all of this isn't even gonna matter.
Yeah.
But we just got to see how it goes. But
The,
honestly, it's weird because you see Daenerys like the the ego and the hatred kind of comes out
yeah.
where she
Yeah,
doesn't believe it.
it
She
it
doesn't want
it
to.
it it shows in that scene, like this is all different now. You kind of see the love in her dissipate a little bit,
Hmm.
you know. But the thing is though, they cut the scene short. I want to think in my head that there was a scene that's supposed to be in there that it's kind of like, invisible writing basically. I want to think
Hmm.
that when they cut that scene, John turns to Danny and says, "Look, I still love you. I don't want the throne. You could have the throne. I don't care if I am next in line for the throne." I want to think that that's what happened, but we don't know.
Hmm.
And the thing is, these writers could totally pull that off later on, you know,
Oh yeah.
because John's that type of person. He already bent the knee and he is, he's trustworthy. He's a man of his word. So if he bends the knee and says he doesn't want the throne and she could have the throne, like, why does she think that he might turn around and do differently? And here's the thing, though: if the writers make it that Jon Snow does want the throne now, I'm gonna be so mad
Hmm.
because they did not build his character to be like that at all. Through the whole all eight
What?
seasons, his character's never been like that. So if they make him like that, I'm gonna be so mad, and I'm gonna take away my saying that Game of Thrones is the best show ever if they do that.
So I got three things on this. They could go one of three ways. One of it is Daenerys can essentially sacrifice herself, saying in the end she goes back to the person she was, saying you are the true heir, so you need to protect these people. Or two, uh, you know, they could have that whole I don't want the throne, you can have it, I just want to protect my people. Or the third, which is going to be kind of strange, um, you know, in the end, none of it's going to matter if they just get married in the end, you know?
That is true, but I don't know if the first theory is viable because I don't think she's that type of person. She's gone through too much, and her ego, I don't think is gonna allow her to do that unless
Okay, then
unless
four,
unless Jorah
four.
unless she has other people who come in and talk her into it. I don't know, but I
Yeah,
doubt
I mean,
I doubt
unless
first theory
so.
would happen.
Okay, then that adds a fourth, that her ego becomes so bad that essentially she could have something done to John because she is scared that
That
he's
is
going
more
to take the throne,
that's more believable.
but she doesn't know that he probably doesn't want it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm scared of, because if they don't have that hidden scene, that secret scene that I explained earlier, that might actually happen. Danny
Hmm.
might have this like under feeling of betrayal, and is like, you know what, I might help you win this war, but in between this battle I'm gonna set you up for death so that no one finds out about this. Because the thing is, she knows that the only people who know is John, Sam, and Bran. She knows that
Hmm.
those are the only three people who knows, because Jon Snow stupidly told her that, right?
Yeah.
So if she knows that, she could set up all three of those people's deaths, and
Hmm.
that's another sign that Sam's gonna die. Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm just setting up Sam's death, dude. I don't like it. He's
So,
the only one who
oof,
knows, dude. Oh no,
yeah.
Sam. I feel so bad for you, dude.
But here we go. That this is what we've been waiting for essentially for 8 seasons.
What the White Walkers show us up. You see the
Yep.
first steps, the first white horse foot step onto the ground, and they see the castle, and then cut to black.
Honestly. So
Blue balls,
this
dude.
is
Blue balls, man.
yeah, this
Oh.
is if nothing happens in the next episode, I may have lost all hope.
Nah,
Like I swear to God, if
no,
they're just setting up for war.
something's gonna happen for sure on the next episode. The only thing is, how long are they gonna draw out the battle? Because the thing is, it's 6 episodes only. We're in
Got two
episode
down already.
2, episode 3 coming up. How long are they gonna draw this battle? Because this is not the last battle. Because after this battle is done, we have to worry about the Golden Army. We have to worry about Cersei's. You know, like
Mm.
what's gonna happen? How is this all gonna go down? And the other part too is, I don't want them to defeat the Night King that easily. You know, I don't want it to be a 1 episode battle and that's done and done. Like that would just be too easy. But I don't know, man. They have to pull off something to make this a great season ending, like finale season. And
Honestly, they could completely shit the bed too. They
hmm
could do everything nobody wants, make the war short, have all of them like. So okay, are we gonna get into speculations? Because I have
yeah,
two
because
giant
that's all the scenes, dude.
giant.
That's all the scenes. So we'll go straight into speculations, dude. Go for it.
I have two. If you guys watched the first one, you already know my speculation of everybody dying. But right now, I have two giant, giant speculations of what could happen with what was learned from this episode. First off, that this one doesn't have to do with Bran. The second one does have to do with Bran. So the first one, we could see Daenerys try to undermine Jon because she wants the throne, but
Yep.
because he is a Targaryen, he probably will. I want to see a Daenerys versus Jon versus the Night King. 3 people, 3 dragons.
Battle showdown.
Let's see what's going on because he is a Targaryen, and that connection between the dragon that he was able to ride, for all we know, he could keep his back because he is a Targaryen and he is of blood. So you never know. And that means 3 people each have their own dragon. Because right now it doesn't really seem right that Daenerys has 2, Jon has none, and the Night King has 1. So it just doesn't really work well.
Well, I mean, no,
Um,
they're already building the relationship between that dragon and John, anyways.
yeah, that's a good, yeah. Like there's a
We're gonna
connection
see
there.
that. We're gonna see that
Ooh,
happen.
also speaking of, I don't know why the fuck it took so. I don't know why the quack it took so long. But Ghost, after so long, what the hell happened? He was John's best friend. What? Why is he finally here? He should have been next to him the entire time.
Well, he's a wolf, dude. He's a wild creature. He like the thing is he will defend John, but only when John is in danger. Other than that, he roams around doing what wolves do. I totally
Mm.
understand it. I get it. And
Yeah, I
also
just
also because they've been separated for a long time as well. I mean, they've only been reunited like last season, I think. And that's when he helped up John as well, and basically when he was in trouble, you know.
still I expected more of like a, oh, Ghost, you're here. Well, that means shit's gonna hit the
Well,
fan,
no, I
not
think
just
I
a
think
like a panning shot and he's there.
I think John knows that Ghost is always around. He's not gonna he's not gonna control Ghost like a dog, you know, like cause
Mm.
Ghost isn't a dog, he's a wolf. Which also one of my thing is what we don't see is Arya's wolf, cause
Yeah.
she has a wolf, and
Hmm.
that in the books that wolf has a pack, and it would be awesome if in the battle with the White Walkers we see that wolf show up with that pack and defend Arya.
Hmm. Yep.
That would be
Dude,
awesome,
so
dude. I don't know. It could happen.
okay, so getting into my second huge speculation, it has a two-parter. So the first part is gonna be, could see in the end, if after the battle they think it's all done, of their dead become White Walkers too, that could be the ending of them. Or in the end, if Bran somehow survives and becomes the new Night King and then controls the White Army, that could be their reasoning of defeating the Golden Army because they have a new army to fight for them. But once again, just
Mm,
speculation. We got to see what happens.
yeah. I don't know if it works the other way around because they never set it up like that. I don't know if Bran could keep them alive after the Night King dies. I don't know.
Like we
But I
said, we
mean, but
never
who
know.
knows
We
though?
got to see.
It's magic, and we don't know how magic works.
And honestly, dude,
But to
White
me is
Walker is
like
still a mystery.
to me
Like, there's
though.
still a mystery.
But to me though, it's like even though we don't know how magic works, they always set up rules, kind of, and
Hmm.
and through all the seasons, you know, the rule is the Night King controls the White Walker. The general of the White Walkers is the head of all the White Walkers. If you kill one of the generals, then all those White Walkers die.
Hmm.
But we don't ever see that the other way around. Like, we don't see Bran giving life to somebody. But he does say that, the Night King is of nothingness, and that's why he wants to rule the whole, or make everyone dead, because he doesn't want to. Because remembering, remembering is what keeps us alive, and that's what
Hmm.
Bran is, because he's knowing of all. Bran is the memory. So if
Hmm.
the Night King could kill Bran, then he kills all the memories, and then basically
Yeah.
everyone dies. So, but I don't know if it goes all the other way around. But that's why it brings up to my speculation is that those two are too connected, because if
Hmm.
Bran is the memory and the Night King is death, you need those two to survive. Like it's like a yin and yang type deal. So like they have to be, each one has to be alive for the world to be alive, to be around basically. And if you
Hmm.
kill one of them, then it messes up the balance.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a rule where like you can't kill one of them, because if you kill one of them, then the other one dies as well. Interesting
Yeah, but then again,
theory.
either if you got to kill one, you got to kill the other. But if they
Yeah,
both live,
like
there's something,
yeah, if you kill one, then the other one has to die also, like, or the other one dies because the other one's dead. Like they're too intertwined. They're way too connected. I
Yep.
mean, it's starting to seem like it's that way, kind of, because they're putting too much theory into it, but that's what I'm kind of pulling out of it. I don't know. It could be true.
But I mean, that being said, we got to see what happens in the next episode.
Um, and then here's my other part too: is in that ending scene, we still don't see the dragon. We don't see the
Nope.
Night King's dragon. I still have a feeling, an inkling, that he is on his way to King's Landing, and he is on his way to turn the Golden Army into the Golden White Walker Army, and he might turn Cersei into the Night Queen somehow. I don't know.
And well,
Oh,
all we have is
um, also my theory from last episode, that Cersei might not be pregnant. Um, I still feel like it might be true because when Tyrion was talking to Jamie, um, Tyrion was like, so do you think that her pregnancy is fake because she's been lying about her army coming to help us and stuff like that? And then Jamie's like, no, that's true. And then Tyrion's all like, well, she lied about other stuff too. You don't know. I think that
Mhm.
kind of that I think even though Jamie thinks that is true, I want to say that that kind of shows that she's lying. I don't know.
Mhm.
That's just the way my head works, though.
Oh man, but we got 4 more episodes
Yeah,
to see
four
what
more, and
happens.
I hope they make these episodes a little bit longer, because
Hmm.
how are they gonna? I don't know how they're gonna do it, and I hope they do it well.
Yeah,
This is the
like
last season. They've been doing a great job. All 7 seasons has been amazing, and we're due for a big battle because each season always has two or one great big battle that's awesome as heck. Um, I'm waiting for it.
yeah, dude. Like we said before. I just hope they don't rush it. You know.
I doubt they will, or I doubt they will make it too short because they all should know, the Game of Thrones fans now, and they've all been. I mean, even though these are new, like they're not new writers, but they are actually writing the story themselves now. But they've seen how the rest of all the seasons went. I don't think they would. I don't think they would mess it up by this time, or at least I'm hoping so.
Yeah, but then again, all these 2 episodes just leave you with a bunch of wondering what's going to happen. But when it does happen, I know there's half of us that are going to be mad, and the other half that are going to be like, I knew this was going to happen, so
Yeah,
I'm going to go with this. But knowing that these are not the same writers, it could have a whole new spin. Like all the old rules could kind of be out the window. They could try to go for all the old rules that, that the book has kind of gone for. But
right.
once again, that's all just we got to wait to see, and we got 4 more weeks of this.
Yep, exactly. And I hope there's no mid season break either. So you guys,
Hmm.
HBO, do not do that to us.
Yeah.
Because other like network channels will do that. Like they'll give you like 2 3 episodes, and they're like, oh, we'll be back 2 months later with the last 3 episodes. That better not happen. Because I'm gonna be really mad if
It
that
would
does.
completely kill the
Momentum.
hope,
Yeah.
yeah, that people have had for this last season.
And I okay, I dig these 2 episodes. I just felt like these 2 episodes could have been 1 episode, and that's all I'm saying to all the fans out there.
Hmm.
If you think that I'm hating on it, I don't hate it. I like it because they're doing what they're supposed to do. These are set up episodes. They're wrapping you up for the big climax that's coming. And they did it well because it ramped us up. Like I said, I was ramped up this whole episode. It's just like, but now I want the next one right away, and I
Hmm.
can see how these showrunners are doing it. Like, they're making us want it, and they're making us anticipate the next episode. So they did their job. The only thing is, I think this could have been 1 episode.
Yeah, this totally could have been 1 episode. Just make it
Yeah.
an hour and a half long.
Um.
Everything would have.
Yep. Exactly, dude.
Hmm.
With that said, though, that it comes to an end. You have any last statements before we exit?
Uh, Honestly, I'm still 50-50 on how I feel about this. Uh, we have yet to honestly get that feeling of satisfaction, and for all we know, they're not going to give it to us. or they could completely have all this be a payoff. But still, the one thing that I have to say is that George R. R. Martin, dude, get on this shit, cause no matter how they're gonna go, he could go completely different in the book, or he could essentially be waiting for them to finish it so he knows how to write the book. But oh, just get on this shit. This is your passion project, dude.
Yeah,
What
but
happened?
that's the book though. We're talking about the show.
I know, but that was the whole reason that the show became a thing.
I
Just
know, but it's not the book review show. It's the show. But I mean,
yeah,
I get where you're coming from though. I mean, it would have been better if George. The thing is, it would have been better if George R. R. Martin did finish his book and we did have a conclusion because the thing is, the show was made off his book, and I think that's why we love the show, or that's why I love the show, is because they went off of what he wrote.
if
Um,
anything, dude, just like call him up and be like, "This is what happens."
but
you
I mean,
know?
like, I'm pretty sure he's there and he's helping these showrunners write this last season. So I don't think that he would just let them ruin, something that was his. Um, with that though, like, um, it's it's his book. He should have finished it, but you can't make one man do something that you can't force it out of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But yeah,
but
but
yeah.
all in
That
all,
being
that's
said,
that's the books though. We're not here to review the books. We're here to review the show, because also the show itself was kind of different from the books anyways. Even though they took a lot of the stuff from the books, they did change a couple. They did change a few things that were not placed into the show, and there was a lot of things in the books that aren't in the show, and there's a lot of things that's in the show that's not in the books. So it's all different. That's why I tend to not try to bring the books into this, because I feel like it's two different entities basically by now.
yeah. So, I mean, that being said, we got a whole week to
Oh,
think about it, to ponder this stuff.
we have a whole week. Let me give you my last thoughts and feelings before we end the show. Uh, I want to hope and wish that there was a secret talk after Daenerys and Jon's talk, because that will set my mind at ease. If not, though, we know that there's going to be a big twist coming around with Jon Snow and Daenerys. Sam,
Hmm.
why did you give your sword away? I wish you didn't give your sword away. And now that Daenerys knows that you are the only one person, one of the only few people that know about the secret, sets you up for a death. I don't like it. I want Sam to live, but it seems like he's gonna die. And Arya, I'm glad that you got your D, but man, you're just basically setting up somebody's death. I don't like
What
that.
if she's what if she's pregnant after this?
Oh, it could happen. It could happen. With that said, though, that is comes to the end of the show. That is the end of episode 1. We have anticipations for the next episode. Just remember, everybody, social media down below. Follow us. Give us a like. Subscribe. Tell your friends out there. Help us get to 100 subscribers. And with
Hmm.
that said,
We've been studying.
we bid you guys
We've been
adieu, and we'll see you all next week.
next week.